Hey guys, what's going on? Pete with Auto Repair Tips. In this video, I'm working on the 05 500. Customer complaint was yesterday we had some pretty good rain around here, and he said his battery light was on and the engine was running rough a little bit. He brought it in this morning and we drove it in and checked it out. There's no check engine lights, the battery light's not on, and it's running fine. So I'm going to show you what I do in a situation like that. First thing I'm going to do is go ahead and run a complete test on the charging system just to make sure everything is up to par. Then I'll throw my scanner on it and see if there's any old codes in there for any misfires on any cylinders. A lot of times if it's moisture outside and it's rainy outside and you have a lot of dew in the air, if you have any cracks or any kind of weak spots in your coil packs, it'll cause a misfire. So we're going to check that out. All right guys, let's get into it. All right, we'll go ahead and run our battery test. Get the tester hooked up to it. Okay. Power it on, baby.
Snap-on electrical system diagnostics.
The Snap-on electrical system diagnostics. Another word for high dollar. All right. We're going to do the complete system test on it. This thing even talks to you. System test. Place the clamp around the negative cable. We did that. Hit the next button. We don't need to do that. All right, working on top post. It's an automotive. It's a regular style battery. Cold cranking amps is 650. It's already defaulted to 650. Rating the battery. Hold the tester. It's going to read the temperature. That's the temperature sensor right here. So you're going to hold it like this, about 2 inches above it. Hit next.
Recharge.
All right, it says it's good. Just recharge it. Go on with the next. We're going to start the engine. Got the engine running. Hit next. Check the alternator output. Turn all accessory leads off. We've done that. Rev the engine for 5 seconds. Idle engine. Test alternator load under loads. Turn headlights on and the blower motor. After I got those going, hit next. Rev it up. We are testing. No load 14, load 11.6. Low voltage results. All right, we're going to run it one more time. I just want to confirm that it wasn't reading under a load. So cranking test was normal. Hit next. All right, we're checking for the alternator output. All the lead, everything is off. All right. So it did pick up RPM on the no loads. When I had no loads on, it picked up the RPM. And like I said, with loads, that's talking about your headlights, your blower motor, things like that. We're gonna add loads to the car. So I'm gonna turn the headlights on, the blower motor, put it on. We'll hit next. Now it wants to hold the engine up. All right, working this, it's going back and forth, it's intermitting. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a bad alternator. All right, engine, there's no detection in RPMs. So hit next, engine's idling, analyzing the data. Turn everything off. Next. All right, so it is definitely not charging under a load. When it's loaded, it's 11.5, not charging. All right, so this car is definitely not charging under a load. So we're gonna go with an alternator and recharge the battery. When I was driving the car in, it sounded like something on the right front suspension was falling off. I'm gonna look at it and make sure there's nothing dangerous and let the customer know about that. He didn't say anything about it, but that noise coming from the right front was loud. So I'm gonna check it out and make sure it's not dangerous. All right, it looks like the noise is gonna be this lower control arm right here. I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but the bushing on the inside is just, it's gone. There's nothing there on the inside. I'm gonna get a pry bar and I'm gonna go back and forth so maybe you can kind of get in and see what it looks like. Just focus right up inside here. See, that's why it's hit. There's nothing there. See, it's busted. And what it's doing is every time you're putting it in gear, it's just slamming this way and it's cocking the wheel back and forth, and that's what I'm hearing. I'm at least gonna let him know what the problem is. He probably will do it later in life because this won't pass safety inspection, but his car doesn't need to be inspected till October of 2022. So at least let him know that's something that's gonna have to be done before he gets the car inspected. All right, let's take a look and see where this alternator is. See what's involved with getting that off. That alternator is right up in there. It's right there. That looks like it's gonna be fun. All right, let me get the tire off and we'll get a little better view on it. The alternator cover is held on with two 15 millimeters. One is right here and one is on the top you can't see. Once you take those bolts out, just take the cover, stick it aside. It's gonna leave another 15 mil back here in the back. The next thing we're gonna do is, you add a tie rod on, we're gonna pop it out. All right, that's a 21 mil. Got lucky on that. Didn't have to knock it out. This way you can take it and just move it out of the way. There's an ABS line right here, 10 mil. You're gonna take it off. I've already loosened it up and use my hand so you can get this out of the way when you go to remove the alternator. All right, we're gonna get the serpentine belt out now. That looks good. Just when you get it up, make sure you use the jack back there. What's wrong? I mean, you're on a solid part of the frame.
Yeah. Well, I'm just worried about the lift going.
The lift ain't gonna go this way.
Ain't gonna come fall down?
No. Like I said, as long as you're on the solid part of that frame, when you get it up, take a transmission jack, put it on the back half of the truck, and you're gonna be safe. No, it's a dead arm. Transmission jack, that ain't strong enough. It's just such a heavy truck that I don't want it rocking when you're welding. If you have a serpentine tool, it's a lot easier. Right. Bobby, yeah. Help me out a second. Pull that way. Is that good? Thank you. The reason why I took two guys because he's got big muscles. Show me your muscles, Bob. Easiest way to get this alternator out is there's 13 mils, one here, one here, one here, one here. Remove them. These are 18 millimeters. You're going to loosen them up in the back till it drops down probably about 2 inches. The fronts are 21s. We're going to drop it down to right about an inch and a half, 2 inches. This is going to be the easiest way. You don't have to pull all the suspension. It literally, you can do this job in about 35 minutes. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the two studs. Matter of fact, these studs are already loose. Once I remove those studs, this alternator is going to come just falling out. I've already removed the electrical part of the alternator. The battery was held on with a 10 and the other one was just plug in. You know, on a side note, this has got to be the dumbest design Ford has ever did to make a person go through all this just to get an alternator off. All right, the studs are usually about a 6 mil. Try and do it while I hold the camera here. I'm gonna remove the studs just like that. You can see the alternator already starting to fall. These are what the studs look like. All right, I'm gonna try and show you this without getting all in the way, but like I said, you're gonna tuck the bracket, you're gonna tuck the cover out of the way. Then you take the alternator, You're gonna come out backwards with it. See how I'm turning it? So come out just like this. There you go. All right guys, this is the new alternator going in. One of the pointers I can give you is when you put the alternator back up in there, the top nut, go ahead and get it started on there to keep the alternator from flopping around. I think the hardest part is that piece of plastic you got to have back in there to get it out of the way. Just make sure you get it back out of the way when you put it in there. Once you get it in there, you turn it. This piece of plastic is what kick your ass. So once you get it up in there, take the top bolt just for now, because you're gonna have to take it back off to put the cover on there, but at least it'll keep it from falling around on you. You're gonna take the back stud, let's go ahead and get it in. Let's put the front stud in. Go ahead and put your back bolt back on now and get it tight. That way the alternator won't move anymore with you. Now go ahead and take off the top nut. Put your cover back in place. Then we'll hook up the electrical. Now go ahead and get your top one on there. All right, so literally that's the hardest part of the job. Now we'll go ahead and get the electrical hook back up. And you can reach that from the back side right here. Just make sure when you're doing it, it's flush on there. When you're putting the battery wire on, don't use any air tools, use your hands and a hand ratchet where you don't take a chance of cracking it or breaking it. Make sure you put the boot back over the stud when you do that. Plug the connector in. All right, and so I'm gonna get my friend with all the muscles to get back over here and help me. Hey Bob, can I use your muscles again? I just need to get this back over here. I think that looks good here. It looks like it's on back there. A little bit more, baby. A little more. Are you bottomed out? All right, come back and then get more bite on it. Try that.
Ready?
Yeah. All right, hold on, let go. Give me a little bit. Oh, come back, that's good. There you go, thank you. See that guy right there? He's got to be the strongest guy I know. He got all the muscles. You're so bad. All righty, lady. Get up there. All right, make sure everything is tight on your subframe. Let's go ahead and lower it down. and we will check the charging system again and see how it does. Let's go ahead and get the battery hooked back up. Hook the ground. Hook the positive.
Snap on electrical system
hook
diagnostics.
This up. Let's turn it on.
System test.
We're gonna hit next, again with the top post. Automotive, it's a regular battery. Cold cranking amps, 650. Hit the next button, testing it again, which we did not charge it, so it's gonna probably come back saying it needs a charge.
Good recharge.
All right, so now we're gonna hit next. It wants to go ahead and start the engine. Crank her up. He's trying to get his car to start. He's got a security. Things always mess with him, he says. He said hold the button twice or some crap, I don't know. All right, give you a heads up. I called the customer because the car won't start. He tells me he's been having some security issues with it, so he's got his remote taped all up. You have to hit the button twice and kick the gas pedal 3 times or something like that to get it to start once in a while. So of course, it's doing it for me and I can't get it to do a daggone thing. It was a short crank there, though, wasn't it? So most started. All right, after screwing around with it for about 17 times, it finally started over. Because he's got some kind of security issue, he said. All right, we're gonna hit next. It's checking the alternator for the output at idle with no loads like before. It wants me to hold it up. Idle engine, hit next. Now it wants me to put all the loads on, so let's cut the headlights on. Let's go ahead and cut the fan on, get it going. I'll hit next. All right, there you go. Cranking normal, charging system, no problems found. Everything looks good. All right, guys, that's it for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure to leave me a comment down below. Let me know what kind of problems you guys have when the weather changes from hot to cold or cold to hot. All right, guys, catch you later.